Hi guys, welcome to Shiva Sai's Perseverance Software Training Institute. I'm Sai. Alright, so we'll understand a tool which is Jenkins, which is most popular in the automation world. Alright, so let's understand what is the purpose and how it helps in the automation world. Alright, see, this particular tool plays a vital role in automating the software, you know, build, test and deployment process. So maybe for now you guys does not know what is building, testing and deploying. We'll understand all of those terminologies firstly, and then we'll come on to how Jenkins helps us. All right, see, before we go through this particular statement, right, we should understand something called as CICD. All right, so what is CICD? Actually, CI stands for continuous integration. All right, see, if we tell something like continuous, it means that something which goes on continuously, right? So a manual uh, effort cannot be continuous, all right? So a human cannot do something manually continuously, right? So for that reason, we are automating things using tools like Jenkins or so on, so Kubernetes, etc. All right. So now, so we should understand CICD, right, before we get on to Jenkins, because without CICD we does not know how Jenkins helps. All right, so CI stands for continuous integration. So let's understand what is, you know, continuous integration firstly. All right, see, continuous integration is something like, we should discuss the process here. All right, so what is the process? Let's see. So basically what happens is, we have something like, all right, okay, all right, so we have something like, a software. So you can tell www.perseverance.com. Okay, so this is a software, a online software. So consider this belongs to our institute. All right, so the thing is, this software, so what happens, I'll tell you. All right, so okay, so for designing this particular, you know, software, right, I mean this particular software, so we should firstly, developer should write the code. Okay, so the process is developer should write the code. So this is developers code. All right, so they should develop the code for, you know, developing a software like www.perseverance.com, which is a software now, right? Okay, it's a website name, right? So when we go through a product should open, right, a software should open. So for that reason, firstly developers should write the code. Okay, so the thing is, immediately the moment when developers write the code, it will not be a software which can be serviced to all the customers. All right, so meaning is, this will not work immediately. So the moment developers write the code, okay, so we have development code now, so immediately this will not work. Okay, we have many steps in middle. Okay, so consider, for example, we have step 1 to be completed, we have step 2 to be completed, we have step 3 to be completed, we have step 4 to be completed, we have step 5 to be completed, then finally this works out. All right, so all the steps after the code is developed should be executed definitely, post which our website will be ready, and we can enable the website so that it will be serviced to the customers. All right, fine. So what is this process, we should understand. Okay, so the thing is, the moment developers write the code, we should what are the stages like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So let me explain you in simple now that dev code. Okay, so we will be building the code, meaning the moment we develop the code, right, it is something like which should undergo a process, right? Some process post which the software will be available for us, right? So that process um, should follow different stages, all right? So first stage is building. What is this building? It will basically convert this code, software code, into something which can be, basically which can be, which can help us to basically generate a package, okay, final package, and that package is of software. Okay, so for that reason it should go undergo build process. Maybe then I should test it, all right, then I should deploy it. So I'm just explaining for example. So we'll be having multiple stages in middle, but these are basically standard. Okay, all right. So when I build the software, okay, I mean ideally not software, this particular code, this build process, what it does is it will generate a package. So then I will test that package, the final package, okay, that is of software. Then I will deploy is nothing but, it helps us to enable this particular website to the customers. Okay, meaning when the customers tries to navigate to this particular website, we'll be able to see that on the browser, or on mobile browser or laptop browser, anything on the browser, we can able to access the software. Okay, so now you understood, right? So build process will generate a package from this particular code. That package is of software, then that is tested, and then that is deployed. Okay, deployment has many things internally, so we can discuss that later, but for now, once we deploy, the software will be available on the website. Okay, fine. In future, so consider, so this is version 1 of our product. So yeah, so now in future there is a requirement from the customer, and we should change something from version 1 to version 2, meaning version 1 has something, version 2 should be added. Maybe for example, right, so version 1 have a feature, okay, for chatting with perseverance team, but it does not have a calling facility. Okay, version 2 software should be enabled with calling facility, meaning so directly on the website, if I click on call now, it should call using some internet based a medium, and it should connect to perseverance.com. So for that reason, developer again will update the code, right? So in addition to v1 code which is already available to the customer, developer now will work on v2, meaning, so consider this is v1 and this is v2, all right. So in the v2's code, we'll have v1's code plus, in addition, what is v2's code, meaning is we should update, all right, the code for enabling calling facility, all right. So then again it should undergo all these processes. You got it right, all these processes. And then what happens is, now this time we'll have v2 because we have v2 code as well here, right? But the thing is, what we should understand is, after modifying the code, again it should, that particular code should undergo build process, then testing, then deployment, whatever it may be, right? Whatever stages are involved. So these are standard. Then those new features will be available on this particular website, all right, fine. Now every time now v3 comes into picture, so we should undergo this process, right? We, in the sense like the development code, should undergo this process. So the thing is, what we should understand is, this process is standard. Now what is CICD is, it is a process of automating this process. So before it was manual. Now CICD is a process of automating this complete process. Ideally, this complete process. Okay, meaning somebody updates the code, it automatically, this is detected by some tool, it will perform build process, then it will then after build process, test process is performed, then deployment process is performed. Automatically all the new changes are flowed to the website and with the latest changes implemented. All right, so the process of automating this entire process, I mean the process of automating this entire cycle is called as CICD. All right, this is as part of DevOps. Okay, so that you should understand. DevOps enabled this CI/CD process. So continuous integration is CI, continuous delivery and continuous deployment is CD. So that will come later. What is that, right? So just understand for now. So CI/CD is a process which is given by DevOps culture to automate the complete software development and deployment delivery lifecycle. All right, so fine. So now Jenkins is a platform which helps us to actually, okay, develop this particular CI/CD strategy. Okay, so we basically call them as CI/CD pipelines. All right, so this pipelines meaning is automating the entire life cycle as discussed. All right, so Jenkins is a platform which helps us to basically, you know, automate this particular process by using a strategy which is called a CI/CD, which is given by DevOps. All right.